All right. So, soil building and soil healing on Volcanic Island. We have Gabriel from Seeds of Change. Where's Gabriel? Gabriel, there you come, please. And Drake Weinert, fellow IMO foe. And James, where's James Feliciano? I think James left, though. I got to go back to Maui. So Greg Smith, you're gonna come up here.
Huh?
Yeah,
I believe
come up
it's
here.
Chang.
What are we talking about?
I think it's Kim.
Oh, Kim.
Yeah.
Okay, Kim, where's Kim?
Right.
Because I have the old one. I'm sorry, it didn't have. Come, Kim, come. Greg, you can come up here too. Come on, sorry. Hi, Kim. You know, in my life, I found only two things that don't lie, and that's our bodies and the soil. And so this is really a great thing to, speak to the importance of healing the soil and in the spirit of, in the spirit of our ability to heal ourselves. So this is a great panel discussion. I'd like to get to it. Let me see, we have about 30 minutes. So, yes. Oh, Dr. Lee. Yeah, Professor Quing Lee. Yeah. These programs they were printed up and then they got changed.
I saw what's mine.
Oh, there he is. Okay, good. Great. Okay, wonderful. So, healing the soil. What a great concept and what a great practice. I shared earlier today there was a thesis that was done out of Brazil and France. A man did 50 years of work on this thesis. And what he shown was that you can, when you feed a plant a water-soluble nutrient, and if you flood the plant with that water-soluble nutrient, a lot of petrochemical fertilizers do this, what happens is it inhibits the development of protein. So the protein synthesis of that plant being able to develop into a complete protein is inhibited. So they've come to find that bugs basically have only evolved to eat incomplete protein. So if a plant is expressing itself as a complete protein, as what healthy hemp does, then that speaks to our own physiology being able to get fed by a complete protein, and you have a healthy plant. When the plants aren't expressing themselves as a complete protein, you have an unhealthy plant, the bugs come in. That's where they've evolved to. They can't eat a complete protein. So it's kind of a neat thesis. This guy worked 50 years on it. He died in 1985 as a broken heart. He had a broken heart. He died of a heart attack. And, that speaks to it falling on deaf ears. The powers that be don't want this to be said because, hey, let's addict the farmers to our products that they have to come to us. And it's almost like they're drug addicts and the chemical companies are pushers. And that's not a good thing for our farmers because our farmers don't want to do anything that's going to harm the land. But at the same time, when you're looking to make a living at farming and you need something to rescue your crop, the society doesn't want to support this whole idea of us taking the time to grow plants that are expressing themselves as a complete protein. And what happens is then, because people don't want to pay money for food, or pay what it's worth for the farmer to produce this food, we end up having to overproduce our lands just to make ends meet. And if we do that, then we're really running into trouble. So with healing the soil, this panel here gives them an opportunity to share their point of view as to what that means for them. So we'll start right here with the man that founded Seeds of Change. And a leader in his own right among people.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here. I've been obviously a service actor and I'm just now getting to talk again, so be patient, I hope you can understand me. Because I used to speak very commonly in front of lots of people, no problem, and now it's like, it's coming back. There's been a long legacy. And it's always good healing foods, it's been good hemp, it's been CBD, a lot of things that really help you get there. And he told me I'll never walk again, never talk again if I forget. So anyway, we gotta keep positive. We got a world that's a mess, but we gotta take care of it. And we can win them. If we have problems, we can heal them. But we gotta help each other. So hemp is a miracle plant for many things that we've all been talking about. But I can say this, for people, we need to, like permaculture, you gotta take care of yourself, you gotta take care of each other, and you take care of the earth. So hemp can do that. So work with all of that. So yeah, so I'm getting ready to go back to my botanical garden for a short time back there, but I'll be back. I got a bunch of interesting plants. I even planted hemp and cannabis in Mexico because I have a botanical garden. I planted by his order, by his family. So it's interesting to see the relationship to save a tree, to a banyan tree, to a baobab tree. They're big guys. I mean, it's a big tree. It can be. When you see all these who it's related to, it makes a lot of sense. So we have 3,700 plant species there in Baja, Mexico, and that's a legacy unto itself. And I started, like he said, I started the company Seeds of Change based on that. We better wake up, because I went to Monsanto, like a tour in 1978, and I gave them a wake-up call. I saw them starting to brag about their, not before it were GMOs, but it was an idea that they're going to control the world with seeds and everything. So I said, wait a minute, we got to put seeds in the hands of the people. It's been in the hands of the people for thousands of years. Why suddenly they were taken away to make money? So these are the same issues that's coming up again with hemp. How long things take. They're trying to take it away from us. They're trying to put pranking pot, whatever. It's the same thing. And people say, well, yeah, you die of a heart. You go, oh, broken heart, because you talk deaf ears a lot. I've been talking deaf ears for a long time. There's good, great people, but not enough of us. And I have to say that we need to support the farmers more. I've been in Mexico long enough. I've been in other cultures a long time. And in America, we don't support the farmers that well. It's just like you know, like bottom line almost. I mean, you got to do it because you love it. But it should be supported more. I got to spend a few minutes with Fidel Castro, and he told me the most important thing that we can do. He said, we have way too many doctors in this world. We need more farmers. We need more people that are connected to the food, to have good nutrition, and then we won't have so much sickness in the store. So I have to say that too. But CBD just opens you up to all your cannabinoid receptors, and you wake up totally fast. But all these things I'm talking about is just common sense. We got to come back to common sense.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chang. I'm a natural farming practitioner, also natural farming instructor. I'm a Global Natural Farming advisory board. Also, I'm involved with the Hawaii Farmers Union. And then there's a 3 question I got an email how to create the soil. I think that's right? Okay.
Heal the soil.
Yeah. So when I live in Kona area and I don't have a soil, so usually I bring in green waste or wood chips. First thing I do is inoculate with a microorganism, indigenous microorganism. The reason that we do that, I do that, I mean we natural farming practitioners do that is soil has to have a living life in there. You cannot farm without life in the soil. If your soil is dead, you must add microorganisms, collect from the indigenous microorganism in your area. And then we put the lactic acid bacteria to put into the oxygen in the soil. And then those green waste and then wood chip without, before you knowing it, about 3 months, you will see all the mushroom coming up and all the living creatures starting to coming into the your wood chips. And then about 6 months, it's starting to turning into soil. But you can even plant once you see the mushroom comes up. You can plant in 3 months. So, but they heat up when you put those natural material on your ground. So you must wait for the heating is cooled down. Yeah, that's very important. And that's how we make our soil healthy. And the second question was, who is influenced me? Okay, around 2008, I always stumble into this event in my life. This one was, I stumbled into this natural farming seminar in, I think it was in Kona. And this man, this almost 80 years old man, came from Korea. His name is Han-Gyu Cho. We call him Master Cho. And then I was listening his seminar. It was about 4 or 5 days straight at the University of Nation. My brain is just keep, this is it, and then his light comes out from my brain. So since then, I was practicing this natural farming, also teaching. He is incredible. He's very old. He has 2 strokes, but he's still going strong, and he's coming back this October. And the third question was about the hemp. Okay, I came from Korea, and the Korea used this hemp about at least 1,000 years. And I remember, even when I was young, we wear hemp clothes, and then this rope they make for the big ship to hold, you know, it's just the most strong material you can imagine. They use all these years, and all of a sudden, this modern, I don't want to really talk about negative things, but it's a truth we have to talk about. This petroleum company and then all these chemical companies show up, and it just somehow this hemp is disappeared from our life. Even in Korea, we cannot have a hemp anymore. It's outlawed, yeah. But it was such a useful plant. I mean, it's I think one of the best plant you can use for everything, medicine, building home. And I mean, you heard many times same thing over and over today, several hours. So I'm really behind for hemp production. Thank you.
May I sign up? I am used to sign up. I'm Chang Li. I work in UH-Manoa. I hope I do not know if I'm going to have quiz afterwards. I have a few slides, and you will not be able to see from this side. You're welcome to come this side.
Plenty of room down here, if you want.
There are plenty of rooms on this side. Be able to show this slide?
There it is.
Here it goes.
Just 1 second.
I will not take too long. I will not take 2 hours. I was made in China and exported to US for education. I got my PhD from UC Davis. After that, I went to UC Berkeley for postdoc training. And I came Hawaii 1995. That was 2 years old. That was 2 years ago. Yeah. I have been here for more than 20 years. This is longer than any city, any state I have been in my entire life. This is my home. I work in UH.
Put the mic up to your mic, so we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. And I work in the Department of Molecular Biosciences and Bioengineering. Tropical app. Please. I have a wonderful group of students and scientists working with me. My lab is associated with University of Hawaii Medical School Proteomic Core Facility. Proteomics, that means proteins. We study proteins. We do colorful research. First, we do red color research. That's medicinal research. Particularly, we focus on Alzheimer drug discoveries, chemicals that related to anti-obesity, anti-lung cancer, and so on. Second, we discover botanic insecticide. We love to have green insecticide to kill bugs and still keep us healthy and producing high quality food and crops. We tend to study green synthesis of conductive polymers. We clone the genes from palm tree that can produce an enzyme that is a biological catalyst to catalyze reactions to make it semiconductor polymers that hopefully one day will be used to make styrofoam batteries, for example. And most of our research is involved agriculture chemicals. We call it agrochemicals. One part of the work is bioremediation and phytoremediation. The definition of phytoremediation is to use plant to clean up the pollution. There are many polluted sites in the United States, approximately more than 3,000. To clean up those sites, the market is more than 200 billion business. That doesn't mean those sites we can clean up and that's gone. The problem is those sites we take care and new sites may come up. The problem is most of the technologies are quite expensive and inefficient. We believe bioremediation and phytoremediation are potential solutions because of a couple of reasons. One, quite economical. Two, quite efficient. It doesn't mean that they have the problem. One of the needs is that we need to understand more about bioremediation and phytoremediation. Therefore, we need more research. Now, we study hemp. We want to use hemp to clean contaminated sites. Again, the definition of phytoremediation is a method of using plants to clean up pollution. Using plants. Phytoremediation is best applied to the site that is pollution is quite shallow. There are different mechanisms of the cleanup. There are a few very attractive features of hemp. One is big masses. Second, hemp has multiple uses, multiple purposes. And the third, it is definitely renewable resources. It's very attractive for us to study, to use hemp to clean contaminated sites. That's one. We have done a few, some research. And this one that's shown a herbicide called atrazine. Atrazine is a herbicide that is most frequently detected in the surface water in Hawaii. The concentration of atrazine is the highest among all pesticides that detected in surface water in Hawaii. That's why we have used atrazine as a model chemical to study how to use hemp to remediate the polluted site. Within 7 weeks, when we grow hemp in the contaminated soil, that contaminated in this case is atrazine, 90% of atrazine disappeared. All study indicated it is not bioaccumulation of atrazine in plant biomass. It is degraded. In other words, atrazine was degraded into small pieces. We would prefer degradation rather than bioaccumulation. If it bioaccumulated in plant biomass, and then we need to take care of the biomass. This is one of the small story. Okay, this work we have not published. We will publish. But by the way, our work is we all published in peer-reviewed scientific journal that have to go through the expert review process. You know that's how it's. The next one, please. 2 minutes. Okay. There's one type of a chemical called petroleum chemicals. Those are the like turtles. You know, those are chemicals. For example, this one is a carcinogen, potentially cause cancer. We have used hemp to remediate those chemicals contaminated sites. Again, with 7 weeks, about 25%, 1/3 to maybe half of those chemicals are degraded. Very interesting, another observation here is that once the soil is contaminated with petroleum product, the hemp grows much bigger, much faster. That's the answer we still do not know. We need to, why? I believe those chemicals will be degraded to phenols. Phenol chemicals tend to have biological activity. They have very minor plant growing effect. But we need to do further research. That's one piece.
Wow.
Okay, in summary, phytoremediation is effective and economical with the 2 stories that we just discussed. It can be easily monitored. It's harmless because it uses plants and preserves natural environment. Most important, phytoremediation that is use plant itself beautifies the site. When you grow the site, it looks beautiful. That's right. And we also do anti-obesity studies.
Wow.
This is very limited study, very limited. We extracted hemp materials and get the extract. We use lipid cells. It's shown anti-obesity. In other words, there are very little lipids accumulated in the cells. With that, the next one. I thank you all for your attention. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
It produces the phenols. Can you please explain that?
You know those chemicals. May I use the specific science terms because I have to use it. Called a cyclic, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon. Some of them are carcinogens. The degradation process typically involves microbial, in other words, bacteria, for example, and fungi. in order to break those polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, it will involve enzymes to catalyze a reaction called dioxygenase. In other words, add 2 oxygens to the molecules, and then break the bonds, form phenols.
Which stimulates biology for the plant to grow faster.
That's
Thank you. That's very good.
So Drake Weinert is a practitioner of IMO with Master Cho. That's why I referenced him as an IMO foe. So here's Drake.
Thank you, Vincent. So I'm glad to be here today. I am just rolling with it as a natural farmer. Things change on you all the time. Got to make with what you got. So I was really stoked here. We're talking about hemp. We're talking about what's happening above the soil, or and great things are growing. What I specialize in is beneath the soil, building the foundation. Because if you have a nice house up here above and you don't have a solid foundation, it's never going to work out well for you. So what I try to talk about is building soil, building foundation. What I talk about, what I learned from my master and what I've been teaching is how to get indigenous microorganisms, which are the soil life, and how to enhance and increase them. And it comes down to 2 things. One of those is increasing their numbers, and the second is feeding them. Now hemp is a great plant because it naturally feeds them. As hemp is growing, it's converting sunlight into these great exudates, and you get to see phenomenal soil results. As you can see from Dr. Lee's research right there, the hemp plant is doing something special in the soil. So as you combine something above ground hemp with then really potent foundational microorganisms, you can synergistically compound this effect. And so any environment you're going into, you can build soil faster by concentrating microbes in the soil, as well as growing these different types of crops on the top. And so that's what I'm into. My main passion is to heal the soils. I look around and it's like we're the last 200 years we've really been not so kind to our soils. And so I'm glad this is here in Hilo, because in Hilo we are starting a microbial soil solutions, right? That's Vincent and his word. I think he thought I coined it, and I think he coined it. But and so combining indigenous microorganisms, beneficial microorganisms, and the plants above, we can do amazing things to build soil. So I encourage you to research Korean natural farming on the internet and look it up, and come back and get some amazing training. We've condensed 10 years of learning into what we can give you in about 2 weeks. So mahalo, thank you for your time.
It's so wonderful working with brothers like this. And let me articulate something that he just spoke about, is plant exudate. Okay, so imagine the soil particle being so small that holds all the fertility that you can't see the soil particle. It's so microscopic, but it magnetizes fertility. So think about all these soil particles that in a windy situation just blow away. All our fertility blows away. They're so small, these particles, these colloids are called, and they stack on each other like pages of a book. Okay? Well, the only way to get those magnetized soil elements, the calcium, the magnesium, and potassium, the only way to get them off of that soil colloid is for microbial roots to get in between, pull them off. These microbial roots then take it back to the plant roots. And the plant roots are, like Drake was saying, exuding into the soil proteins and sugars, cookies and ice cream, into the sugar, into the soils. And the microbes, that's what they feed off of. So the microbes go, hey plants, here's some elementals for you that you need, and thank you so much for the cookies and ice cream. So there's this symbiotic relationship that happens in the soil that makes the plants uptake these elementals to help us be well. We're not feeding plants intravenously as chemical fertilizers do. The microbes are eating at the table first where we work. And so there's a thing about Hawaii soils that I wanted to just address. It's really important to understand. Most of us here eat a lot of European plants. Cucurbits, all the broccolis, all those things, right? Cauliflowers. They're European plants. We don't have European soils here in Hawaii. We don't have those older mineral available soils. So it's really important that we don't beat up our soils as we have done. So to heal those soils is critical, but not only to heal them, to mineral balance them. And the best way to do that is get biology in the soil to make the minerals that are there available so we can then not overproduce our lands. So it's really important to understand that that is calling to a sense of humus. We all need to have more of a sense of humus, okay? Truly. And I just went through a fast. I'll give you a quick anecdote. I just went through a fast, and when you do a fast, headache because of you're releasing toxins, right? And I remembered that, humus is a great way to deal with mental health issues. I went out into my compost pile 24 years from our farm and literally stuck my head and breathed into the humic structure of that compost pile. Went back into the house and the headache was gone.
Wow.
So grab a bag of humus if you have a headache, okay, before you go off on your spouse. Breathe into humus for about 10 seconds. Truly, it works. So I want to thank everybody here. We're out of time, but I really appreciate these folks sharing their Manoa, and please give it up for them.
Thanks, Vince. Thank you. Wow, this has been awesome. I've got